What's up everybody, I'm D-Train, and today I'm going to be showing you a Queen Charge Barch attack. It's a farming strategy I've been using in Titan League. Once you factor in the league bonus, it ends up being pretty lucrative, and I'm able to get to the Dark Elixir storage on most bases with the Queen Charge. This one I'm going to just go directly for the Dark Elixir. There was 8,000 available total. And the reason I decided to do this is because, number one, I haven't seen it as a real strategy that anybody's doing, probably because it's very strange. But the reason I like it is because I don't want to farm using goblins because I find it really boring, and then it doesn't really translate. So, you know, spamming goblins on basically mines and collectors and drills, it just doesn't. I don't get anything out of it. It's not going to help me with becoming a better attacker or anything of that nature. And I figured this way, I'm not using any Dark Elixir except for the single poison spell, which is 100 and something Dark Elixir, so it's a negligible amount, and that's the only Dark Elixir I'm using. So this way, if I'm trying to, and by the way, I dropped my Warden there hoping he would go for the Queen, because I thought the Queen might not get it, but she was able to just barely get it before the shots came in from the Eagle. But yeah, I figured this could be pretty good because it's very low Dark Elixir, and as long as I can win most of the time, I don't see why I can't push and farm using this same strategy. So that's what I've been doing. My archers aren't even maxed yet, but the barbarians are, which is probably more important because they're just able to live a little bit longer. This was a pretty easy attack. Normally I don't drop my Warden with the King and Queen. I assume you'll see that in the next attacks. I don't recall what else I recorded for this, but the other attacks, I generally will put the Warden down with the barbarians and archers, and then I'll use the ability pretty much immediately just to keep a large pack alive to get through if there's like a mortar around or something. So that works really well. But I was able to get 7,400 Dark Elixir here, as well as 15 trophies. Trophies aren't the main thing I'm going for, but I definitely don't pass up on reasonably good offers, even if they don't have resources. Just because it's all profit, I will just go for some of those trophy offers because I don't hate the trophies. Not that I'm going for them, but you know, they certainly help, and it means, you know, if I saw a large amount of Dark Elixir that I could get to, but I didn't know if I could beat the base, I'd be okay taking it because I'm not pushing, you know, super hard or anything. But unfortunately, this base also has single target Infernos. They're extremely problematic because they kill the Queen, whereas nothing else really does. I decided to drop a heal spell here for the healers, mainly because I saw the Queen was going to the right, and I knew that Archer Tower and potentially that Expo, if it was in range, which it looks like it's not going to end up being, but I knew they were about to start firing on the healers, and I didn't want to lose the healers, so I decided to use the heal and try to keep that up. But I did use my Warden again here, which is a bad idea probably because the Queen was going to get taken out, as well as a bad rage there because the Queen was going to get taken out pretty easily by that single target Inferno. I guess I was hoping the Queen would fire at it, but I believe that's out of range from the other side of that wall. So then I'm going to just, since I already got the Eagle, I don't always go for the Eagle first, but sometimes it helps. So this one, I already got the Eagle. Now I want that Dark Elixir because there's 5,000 left, and I think a large chunk of that is going to be in that storage. So I'm just going to drop a Wall Wrecker, Barbarian King, and then pretty much everything else. I do have a bunch of archers around the base picking off free buildings, so I'm not too concerned about percentage. And I'm just going to drop everything in there. See if I can't get it. The King's ability was pretty big here, enraging a lot of barbarians. And then the bowlers came out of the wall wrecker, which really just guaranteed the Dark Elixir, which was fortunate. And I'm going to just let these archers finish up. Might as well get free resources if they're available. That beautiful little archer got me so much elixir in this one. But yeah, I just think this way I can improve my queen charge quite a bit. You'll notice I drop a lot of rage spells on the queen when she's not close to death. I do that because if I keep the queen moving quickly, then I'm not going to have a time fail. I have had some time fails just because I'm not great at, you know, dropping the barbarians while monitoring my queen. So I like to just do the whole queen charge and then drop the barbarians and archers. I will make exceptions because sometimes I know the queen's going to be alive at least for a little bit, especially if she gets the eagle first and there's no single targets on her. Like if she's working towards the outside, I won't pay that much attention to her, and I'll start dropping the rest of my troops. And then, you know, after the rest of my troops are dropped, I'll go back to her. But so this base is there's a ton of Dark Elixir. It's kind of a style base I don't prefer to attack, just because it's kind of weird. Your queen is very rarely going to go exactly where you want without proper funneling troops. Obviously, I'm not using a ton of funneling troops, or barely any pretty much in the attacks you've seen so far, because I don't want to set off the eagle. I could also get away with using 5 healers instead of 6. I just like 6. I think if I use 6, it does set off the eagle by the time I finish using all of my spells, because it ends up being too many spots. I forget what spells count for the eagle, but it adds up pretty quickly, especially if I use my Barbarian King also. In this one, I was very fortunate. So my queen is in there, but she's just going to move away from the Inferno Tower, very fortunately. I drop a heal there to try to keep the healers alive. I figure at the very least they'll die a little slower to maybe get out of range, but they didn't get out of range, and I lose the queen also. But fortunately, I drop a large clump there with the Warden and the Barbarian King. It looks like we're gonna... Well, we're relatively close. It looks like the buildings up on the top there. Yeah, that's where I'm going to drop. So the buildings on the top here are going to end up being a lot of percentage pretty easily. There's some mortar fire, but there's only one in the dead center, so it's going to be pretty easy. And then we're just going to get these buildings on the top left. And we got all of the Dark Elixir, I think, except for the clan castle, I assume. I don't know where the clan castle is. Either way, there's some amount of Dark Elixir somewhere. So we did not get 100% of it, but we still got just under 8,000, which is a pretty great rate in my opinion. So obviously, it's not the most effective way of farming, because the most effective way of farming is going to be rapid Dark Elixir attacks, but this is a better learning experience for me, and I prefer some of these more interesting attacks. So that's why I decided to do this. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe for my future videos, and have a great day.